Hi, welcome to my study studio. In today's lecture, we will talk about the main events of Cold War. So, what are the main events of Cold War which were happened in during Cold War? So, from the end of Second World War in 1945 to the first 1990s, Cold War was the most remarkable event of the 20th century. After World War II, Cold War was basically a competition between the Soviet Union and the US. So there are many causes of Cold War, but the main cause of Cold War was the ideological conflict between the Soviet Union and US. So during Cold War, the US was a capitalist nation. So based on the principles of individualism, while the Soviet Union was a communist nation, so based on the principles of socialism. So there are few main events of Cold War, which first is Korean War, which was held in 1950s to 1953. 3 years Korean War started when the Communist Army of North Korea passed the 38th parallel and captured the non-communist South Korea. So it was a major conflict between the Soviet Union and the United States after the end of World War II and the initial war of Cold War. The Korean War was fought between the two Koreas, that is South Korea and the North Korea, on June 25th, 1950. So in North Korea had the assistance of communist allies such as the Soviet Union and China, while the South Korea has the assistance of US during conflict. At wartime, US played a big role for many years. Another event which is happened in which has happened during Cold War is a Suez crisis, 1946. So during the nationalization of Suez Canal by the President of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, international crisis in the Middle East triggered on July 26, 1956. The Suez crisis was evoked by the decision of British and America to not finance the construction of Aswan High Dam of Egypt. So Egypt going their ties with the communist state, that is Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia. So France and Britain were doing diplomatic efforts to settle the crisis, but they failed. So then British and France had prepared their armed forces secretly to regain the control of Suez Canal. But the Israel was also interested to regain the control of Taiwan Strait from Egypt. So on 22nd December, the UN withdrew British, France, and Israel troops from the Egypt in 1957. On the other hand, because of this episode, France and British lost their influence in Middle East. Another incident, which is about U2 incident, in our next video we will talk about the U2 incident and construction of Berlin Wall and other incidents which are held in Cold War.